Happy Wednesday, Motivation Movers. Welcome back to an all-new Coco Renee's Motivation Movement Daily Affirmation. Praise God. Today is Wednesday. It is October the 2nd, 2019, child, and I am back in full effect. Thank you so much to all of my movers, family, friends, all the people who support the cause and the movement. Thank you so much. I have had people reach out like, hey, what's going on? You've been MIA, girl. What's cracking? We miss our daily affirmations. We need that. It was people reaching out to me, child, that I didn't even know, watch it. You know, because some people don't be liking stuff and they won't follow or subscribe. But then they'll tell you about some things. And you're like, you watch it? Okay. So I know I got an audience out there that might not even participate in hitting the like button or sharing and things of that nature. And you know, sometimes you be feeling like, are they even supporting? But it's all good. We're going to talk about that today in the good scriptures about support. But I do thank God that there are people out there listening, people that are tuning in, people who are letting me know that they're receiving the messages and that they miss the messages because it might give them a little strength through their day of whatever they're going through. When you have someone that is human, somebody like myself who I live my life through, you know, the public eye now. Not to the degree where it's extreme, like I'm not nobody's celebrity, but what I'm saying is I post a lot of things that puts me out there publicly. So when I do that, it allows people to get a different side of me and for them to see the human in me, okay? Flaws and all. I'm an open book with a lot of people. I will tell you the things I've been through in life. I've been through some things that are not, you know, great experiences, just like a lot of us. But I like to share my experiences to help somebody else, you know, just to motivate them, uplift them, let them know they're not alone, they're not the only one going through it or have been through it, and just to show, you know, the proof of what just having a relationship with God will do in your life, even when you are flawed, even when you are of sin, even when you make mistakes, how God will just put you through all of that nasty, filthy stuff and really start working on you, you know, and it's a process. So I'm really just documenting my process is how I look at the motivation movement. I don't look at this as a preaching show. This is not a show that I would consider, you know, where it's like, okay, I'm trying to be your pastor, child. This certificate does not say pastor, minister. This certificate says evangelist. That means that I am to serve the people. I'm just here to talk about God. And you know what? In me doing so, I am also going through a process in my life where God is cleaning me up, cleansing my spirit so that people can see me go through my process and maybe it might help to motivate them as they go through theirs, as I said. So with that being said, before I get into this motivation movement and we get caught up on all the things that's going on in life, make sure you guys are subscribing, liking, and sharing, hitting the notification bell for updates on the one and only official Coco Renee YouTube channel, as well as the Midnight Bosses Entertainment channel, okay? And you can also catch me on Instagram, where I post a lot of information. I post scriptures, I post different things. I've kind of taken a break from it, but I'm back. So just make sure you guys check me out, Instagram at official Coco Renee. Now, if I ever take a moment where I have to step away from this platform, that's going to be updated on my Instagram page because it allows me to update messages and, you know, I can write things in text. On YouTube, I can't do that. So it's a little different, but I'm trying to get better at it. And by me taking September off, it gave me a lot of time to think about the future of this show and the platform and, you know, where we're going with it. So we're going to talk about all those things. Now, as you guys see, I have a different background. This is what I've been working on, trying to build a, you know, a beautiful atmosphere. You know, when we share the word, we don't want to be in the garage, you know. I don't want to always be talking to y'all outside of my backyard, you know, chilling on the front porch. I got to talk to you guys in a more quiet atmosphere where it really, how should I say, it enhances the experience. I've really taken a lot of time in the atmosphere I'm in to create it where it is of spiritual feelings and just the energy and the vibe and all that stuff. And I thought that was really, really important before I went back into doing the platform here, the episodes, because I wanted you guys to see something that just gives you godly vibes. Makes you feel, you know, like the earth tone feeling, you know, because when you think of earth tone things, you think of nature. When you think of nature, what do you think about? God, okay? So I wanted to just create a ambiance, so to speak. This is what happens when you get into film school, child. You're coming up with all kind of words and terminology you ain't never used before. Anyways, before I get into my good book, okay, because I got them scriptures, and I'm sorry if you guys hear my dog in the backyard because it echoes in my house. I got nothing but tile and things, so you guys might hear the dog barking. I'm just letting y'all know, if y'all hear him barking, just ignore him because that's what he do, and I can't do nothing about that. Hopefully the music would drown him out, but anyways, we're gonna talk about some good scriptures today, but let me just share with you guys the future of the show, what we're doing with this platform, because God is so amazing with how he presents certain situations and how it will open up other situations. So by me having this platform, I start thinking, I want to change it up. 2020 is coming. Every year, you know, I want to rebuild something that's going to be a little different and more, you know, on a level up type of, you know, thing, level up vibe. And I know that I've been, you know, really trying to decide like how I want my background to be, and you know, what type of environment do I want to give the good word, and what direction is the motivation movement going to go into? Are we going to continue to do this? Should I stop? Should I go? It's a lot of things, you know, that I have had to consider and think about through this process. So I've been praying, and I said, you know what, Lord, I need help, because I've been doing it since 2018, and it hasn't been that long, but it's going on 2 years. And I feel like I'm running out of gas, okay? I'm running out of fuel because I have a million other things going on in my life, you know, as well, like as far as career-wise and certain moves that I'm making, and just trying to put things into, you know, perspective so that I can have a bright future, and I'm building it also so my kids can have a bright future, right? So where am I gonna have time to do this? How am I gonna do this? Should I continue? Are people gonna get tired of getting the word? And God said, child, please, if you don't take several seats and get this lesson. So what God put on my spirit is, you're going through a process, continue to document your process. It doesn't matter if you repeat the same message, just say it in 5 different ways, so that people get the point that you may have presented this message to them, but there's layers and elevations to each lesson to be learned. You don't stop what you're doing for nobody unless I tell you to stop. And when I tell you to stop, that's because I'm moving you on to a different pasture. So until I move you there, you need to stay in this lane where you're at. You don't know who needs this and who's looking at your progress and your process and seeing you grow and seeing you go through, you know, the phases, because you went from being in your car, sitting in front of your job, to being in a beautiful home I bless you with your own studio in the home, and having a whole different platform. Look at how far you've grown in the last almost 2 years. So no, you're not gonna stop, because people need to see how much I'm cleaning you up, how much I am changing you and developing you in your progress. No, you're not perfect, but that's okay, because people need to know you're human like them, you're flawed like them, you're sinful like them. You might backslide and do the electric slide, but you coming back at the end of the day, and you coming back to me. You're not preaching here, but you are sharing my holy word. What is wrong with you sharing the holy word? Do you know how many people I know that I went to church with before I moved? My church home, you know, I have been there for years. And it was a lot of people that were up there pastoring and ministering that I would spend time with them, like personal time with them. And I was like, dang, they just like me. They just a little bit cleaner, but they just like me. You know, I was finding, you know, some of the people who were in the church in high positions were cursing. They were doing things that, you know, and they would tell me, you know what, I'm sorry if you've seen that part of me, because that's what I'm trying to change. I don't present that at church, but this is my personal space. And so if I slip, you know, it's something I'm still working on. And that gave me such a different appreciation for people that I went to church with, because for a moment I was like, dang, everybody up in here like really like goody two shoes. You know, I feel like I don't belong here, because I know when I leave church, sometimes I can be a person that's not always as godly, okay? So, you know, I don't want people to get the wrong impression, like I'm up in here trying to front and, you know, trying to perpetrate and sit up here, you know, being a poser. But at the same time, a poser is a person who really don't have the Spirit of God in their life at all. They're not trying to transition at all, but they're trying to speak that good game. I'm not that type of person. I know that I'm a flawed person. I do display it sometimes to the public's eye, but let me tell you the difference is I put myself out there. I'm an open book, period. But I'm always open, you know, to change. And so therefore the platform here is going to continue to grow. It's not going anywhere anytime soon until God changes it and switches it up to something else. So we are moving to our podcast. We're not going to just be on YouTube anymore. We're not going to be just on Facebook. We're not going to be just on Instagram. This is going to turn into a audio on the my talk podcast, which is the Fourth Quarter Talk. And that is on the Castbox app. So if you guys want to hear, more stuff, check it out because it's really, really informative information. I talk about Black topic issues, things that's going on in the communities. I share my Midday Boss Show on the podcast. I do prayer room on the podcast. So it's not just a podcast that's just made for one thing. I have different formats, and I felt like this would be fitting to go on there. It's people that's driving to work that can't sit up here and watch a whole YouTube video, but they can listen. And so I thought, that will be the future as I'm developing other shows and platforms and creating different, avenues. Let me create something where this has a new home as well. So we want to make sure that we continue to just spread the love and spread the word and find different ways to do it. All right, with all that to be said, because I've spent like 10 minutes, at least 10 good minutes, talking to you guys about what's going on in the world of Coco. Because when I'm gone for so long, we got to chop it up, you know what I mean? But let's go ahead and get into the Holy Scriptures, because what I also want to add on before I close this chapter is the only support that you need is the support of God. It's a lot of people out there that might not support what you do. Like I was talking about how there's people who follow the show but don't really follow it. They don't hit the follow button. They don't hit the share button. They don't hit the like button. They don't hit the, they might hit the notification bell because they want to get some updates, or maybe they'll just wait until I post something and they'll check it out and they won't even respond. And you're like, dang, I don't have no support. Nobody's watching this. And then you find out that people are watching it. It's just that they don't want to display that they're supporting you until they talk to you. People are different. But what I had to learn also is instead of me getting my feelings hurt, instead of me taking it to the heart and saying, oh, people aren't here to support me, I realized God is all the support I need. God is all that I need. He supplies everything. What people won't do doesn't mean that God won't do it. I don't have to have people's support. God is all the support I need. He supplies every single thing in my life. So what I need people's support for? They can't supply the needs that I have, you know what I mean? They don't wake me up every morning. They can't forgive me of my sins. They can't provide me the financial means I need to be able to pay my bills, take care of my kids, whatever, So at the end of the day, God's support is all that you need. And that's what we're going to talk about today in this good scripture, which is in the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verses 3 through 9. So let's go ahead and get into it, and then we're going to close this on out, child. So in Matthew chapter 5, verses 3 through 9, it reads, "Happy are those conscious of their spiritual need, since the kingdom of the heavens belongs to them. Happy are those who mourn, since they will be comforted. Happy are the mild-tempered ones, since they will inherit the earth. Happy are those hungering and thirsting for righteousness, since they will be filled. Happy are the merciful, since they will be shown mercy. Happy are the pure in heart, since they will see God. And happy are the peaceable, since they will be called sons of God." Okay? Now, I know we ain't all sons, because I know I'm not a son, I'm his daughter, but I just take that in exactly what it means. Sons of God, as well as children of God, daughters of God, however you want to word it, that's basically what it means. So, God is your support. At the end of the day, when you have him in the midst of everything, it doesn't matter how dirty and rugged it gets. When you have God in the midst of everything that you do, let me tell you, child, he will provide all kind of ways, ways that you didn't even imagine, that he will supply you, provide you, so you don't have to have everybody's support. He's the only supporter you need. He's the only supporter that you should have on your side. Okay? Because all them other people you out there trying to get follows from, likes from, loves from, shares from, whatever, you know what I mean? Those people can't do nothing for you. They might make you look good, but let me tell you, God is going to draw people to you naturally on his own, no matter what walk of life you're in. You might not be a person that's out here doing what I do. It could be just your regular, everyday, you could be working as a cashier, 9 to 5, hard-working person. Because I feel like people that work those entry-level jobs are the hardest workers ever. I can say we, because I was there at some point in time where I was a part of that. And I knew that I was working my behind off. And I wasn't getting the love and the reception all the time that I felt that I deserved when it came down to certain things. I didn't get the support, and I didn't get the kudos and the accolades and the rewards and the praise for all the hard work. And those are some of the hardest working people. I know when I worked that job, woo, man, I go home crying some days like, this is just ridiculous. I feel like I'm a slave. But you know what? God built me up. He gave me every support that I needed to get to where I'm at, because he knew that I had a goal. He knew I had a dream. He knew that I had aspirations. He knew that there was things in life that I wanted to accomplish before I leave this earth. And he's allowing me to do those things in steps. And it's taking years for me to get to where I'm at. And I'm not even on the level where I want to be yet. But I'm excited because I'm looking back, and by me doing these motivation movements and me going back to 2018, I was looking at some of them videos a couple days ago, and I was like, child, woo, my hair was towed up. I was in a putt-putt. I was not, looking all that good. But boy, look at how he's cleaned me up. Look at how I got so groomed, and how far he's brought me. Look at how my spirituality has changed. Look at how far I've walked in my step, and just with him. That's God's support. That's all you need. You don't need nothing else. So when you got that, you got everything. Don't ever forget it. Just know that you have to manifest. It is all within you. You have the ability to make it happen as long as you have him first. On that note, I got to go. I love y'all. Praises be to all of you guys. Have a blessed week ahead, and I will see you guys Friday. Toodles. What it do, movers? It's your girl, Coco Renee. Don't forget, the Coco Renee's Motivation Movement Daily Affirmation will now be airing on the Fourth Quarter Talk podcast on Castbox. Download that app right now and check it out.
When I touch down, they celebrating. I keep my energy calibrated. Only show up so they know I made it. All my diamonds are late.